What's up, beautiful people, and welcome to the channel. My name is Elizabeth, and today we are going to be talking about a ton of things that successful people do. So do you want to be successful? Do you want to be a high performer? Do you want to be wealthy? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be healthy and happy? If so, then you're in the right place. And we're going to be talking about what successful people do. I do a ton of research on these people, and here's a bunch of habits that you can adopt and mindset shifts that will help you live a happier and healthier life. Let's do it. All right, so number one, successful people feel scared and they do it anyways. So I've realized this, that fear, it's not the absence of fear. Fear is there, but they have courage because they have the fear and they do it anyways. They do take calculated risks. And so, or they might be nervous and like, I don't know if it's going to work out, but then they do it anyways. So do it despite and in spite of fear. Have courage. Number two, successful people make mistakes. They recognize them, they apologize, and they take new actions because of them. So we're all human. Everybody messes up. That's the coolest thing and the craziest thing about learning about wealthy and successful people. They're just like us, but they have different skills, different habits, different mindsets that take them to that level, right? But they're still people. They have insecurities. They have fears. They make mistakes. They do things they're not supposed to. But successful people and really good successful people, because there's a difference. Just because you're wealthy doesn't mean that you're a nice person, etc. But they take ownership and then they change their action. And so how many people say, I'm sorry I did this. I'm sorry, forgive me. But then they don't change their action that got them in that situation or that hurt someone. And so the best way to say you're sorry is to acknowledge it and to say it, but then say, I'm really sorry I did this, but I will make a change moving forward and I will do something different. So change your action. Number three, successful people feel all those feelings, all those uncomfortable feelings, the scary feelings, the uncertainty, the doubt, but they learn how to manage those feelings and they do the things regardless. So if they know they want to get somewhere, they know what habits they need to do, what they need to do, and then they go do them. But they're not sure if they're going to make it. They're not sure. They feel all those feelings and insecurity and doubt that creeps in. And what if I look stupid and I do look stupid, or I'm not good enough to do this, or whatever it is. They figure out how to move through those feelings, how to change the stories they're telling themselves, how to focus on the right thoughts, how to shoot out the thoughts that are not helpful and say, get out of here. I can do this. I believe in myself. I've got this. And then they move forward anyways and in spite of them. So feelings, just because you get a scared feeling doesn't mean you just need to avoid it. It just means, I'm a little worried about that. And you can still do it anyways. Even if you're a little scared, even if you're nervous, even if you don't believe, you can do the thing regardless. Number four, successful people set up systems and they set up habits. And so if you want to check out Atomic Habits by James Clear, this is a great book for setting goals and having habits, but your life depends on what you do each day. So your habits, what do you do? So start thinking about that. What do you do in your day? That's going to lead you to the life you want. If you want to be healthy, are you eating healthy meals? Are you getting good rest? Are you going to the gym? Are you getting outside for fresh air? Are you stretching? Those types of things, right? And so you need to think about what are those habits, because that is who you become. But in addition, you create systems. So instead of just saying, hey, I want to do these things, or I want to be rich, or I want to be healthy, and so I need to do these habits, you create systems to make it happen, right? Because life comes up. So a lot of people, and the rich people and wealthy people, they schedule it. If they know they want to work out, if they know they want time to read, yes, even reading you can schedule in time for, then they schedule it in, they create a system, and they make it happen. Make it happen. Number five, this is a big one. Successful people work on their mindset. They have a growth mindset. They have a positive mindset. They believe in themselves. They believe they can improve, grow, and change. And just because they're not perfect doesn't mean that they can't try. And so work on your mindset. I have a lot of videos on my channel. I'm happy to do a lot more if that's interesting to you. But I found that it's like the tactics. People want to learn, what do I actually need to do? But then they know what to do, but then continuing on, like even with weight loss, this is so hard, or I want to eat this food, or I want to do this, or I feel stressed, or I'm not organized and prepared. And so you have to learn how to manage it and how to deal with your mind. Like a lot of it is in your mind. Most success or failure starts up here. Number six, successful people believe that they can do more and that they were meant for more. And so if you have a big vision, you typically are going to let yourself believe that, and you're going to actually say, you know what? I can do this. I have a video on my channel. Be crazy enough to think that you can, right? Be silly enough to dream, because really it's not silly. Most people who are successful, they did dare to dream. They dared to think bigger. And so think bigger, think more for your life, and you'll probably get more. Number 7, successful people are confident and they go for it. They also might feel insecure at the same time, but they still go for it. So we talked about feelings. Even if you have a feeling, they literally might be so insecure or be so scared, but they do it anyways. So feelings, like, I really learned a lot about feelings, and I was like, okay, like, I feel this way. So you know what? I don't have to do it. But the more you do that, you just let yourself off the hook, then discipline will slack and your goals will go down. And so you have to find the right balance. I found it's okay to give yourself grace. Some people are super strict on themselves and almost not like too disciplined, but they don't give themselves like every day they show up and then one day they feel bad and then they like push through anyways. Sometimes that's appropriate, but sometimes, you know what, just take that one day. But if you keep like, I don't feel like it, okay, take the day off. I don't feel like it, take the day off. And you keep doing that, then you're missing out on that standard and from achieving what you could. And so be mindful of that. You don't have to listen to your feelings. They are signals and they're there trying to tell you something, but you can continue on in spite of them. Number 8, successful people can delay gratification and they can wait for things to happen. And so there's the marshmallow test, and they show that kids who were able to wait for that marshmallow and delay that gratification were more likely to be successful. And so the longer you can wait for something, the more likely you are to be successful and to achieve what you want. And so ask that in yourself. Can you wait for things? Are you patient? And if you are, great. But if not, maybe that's something you can work on. And one thing I wanted to mention about the delayed gratification, like why that matters, is because typically good things take time and it takes effort and your habits have to compound. And so if you are interested in something, you have the skill to do something, you start and you're not seeing results, that's going to discourage you and that could cause you to quit, right? But if you have persistence, you keep going, you delay that gratification, you're more likely to eventually see the compounding results and the effect take place and you'll achieve what you want. Number 9, successful people aren't afraid to look stupid. And so Sarah Blakely talks about this, that if she hasn't gotten embarrassed in a while, she will intentionally and purposefully embarrass herself. And so this is so funny. You might see that with your kids and they're like, stop, it's so embarrassing, and knock it off. But honestly, like that's a totally normal feeling to feel embarrassed. But successful people learn to put themselves out there and go, you know what, I might be embarrassed. That might be embarrassing, but who cares? I'm going to keep going and I'm going to achieve what I want anyways. Number 10, successful people see failure as not trying. This is so interesting, but if you want to do something, you do it. So if you wanted to do something and you decided not to because you were too scared or whatever, that is what people see as failure because you didn't try. And a lot of people, you see this in schools and just in life and with growing up with your friends. And if you're playing outside and you miss a basketball shot and they're like, you're a loser, you didn't make your shot, etc. Like, I say, hey, at least I tried. And if you let them go, ooh, I don't want to shoot again because I'm scared I'm going to mess up and then they're going to make fun of me, then you're never going to be a good shooter. You're never going to be good. But instead, it's super uncomfortable and this is really hard to do, but you keep going regardless of what other people think and if you're going to mess up. And Michael Jordan has a great quote on this. I could put it on the screen, but it's basically talking about that he made the shots and he had the success he had because he was put in a position and he wasn't scared to fail. Because he was put in the position to make the game-winning shot, to make magic happen, and to be the person with the game on the line, and he had to take that responsibility. And many times it worked out for them, but many times it didn't. And the reason he succeeded was because he wasn't afraid to fail. Number 11, successful people work hard, but they work in the right vehicles. And so if you have a goal and you want to achieve something, then make sure you're in the right vehicle, in the right place. And so Warren Buffett talked about this, that he had a lot of great colleagues and people, peers that he was in school with, and they were incredibly brilliant and even smarter than him, but he went in the investment field and he ended up having more potential to make more money. And so he made more money. And so be careful. Think about what life you want to live. Like, you know, I don't need billions of dollars, or that's not my goal here, right? And so I'm not trying to get in $1 billion industry and business. But if you want to create financial freedom or be able to have time freedom, or if you want to live a certain type of life, think about what vehicle that's going to take to get you there. So, because it's not just about hard work. A lot of people work hard. People who don't make a lot of money work really, really freaking hard. So you want to get in the right place that will help you get where you want to be, because it's not just about hard work. Number 12, successful people learn, grow, and they're open. They know that they don't know it all. And so that is something that you learn, is that the one thing I do know, I told my stepson that the other day, is that I do not know it all. And so That's cool. That's great, because people have said, like, I literally don't know it all. But even really, really smart people, really, really wealthy people, really successful people, they're constantly learning. And so be a lifelong learner and more will come to you. And so that's what Charlie Munger says as well, that people who learn and that read, they will rise in life. The people who learn and grow, they will rise. And so don't be so prideful that you think you know it all. Be open. Like even Stephen Hawking or something, he was one of the smartest people and he believed something to be true. And then he ended up changing his mind on it. And so be willing to be flexible and change your mind, because you never know. New information could come and you could change your mind. Number 13, successful people rely on other people. And so this might shock you. This might be like, oh yes, that makes so much sense. When we go together, we go further. But they rely on other people's work. They rely on other people's 10,000 hours. Noah Kagan talks about this, the author of $1 Million Weekend. And he talks about, hey, I'm going to pay for people I'm able to. And so I know not everyone's able to do that, but they invest the money in a coach or someone who spent 10,000 hours learning about personal development or learning about psychology or learning about how to get over their failure or learning about how to become healthy and have a fit body or whatever. They're going to pay them for all that knowledge and all that time they spent to get there, so that then they're in a different place. And so learn from other people, learn from coaches, learn from mentors, learn from people who can help you and who have already done the thing. Number 14, successful people are willing to do the work. They're willing to have a longer time horizon, and they know that Rome wasn't built in a day, so your dream probably won't be either. And so this is so hard. It's so hard when you want something, but typically it takes time. And so you have to trust that Rome wasn't built in a day. And so stay committed, keep working. It will work out eventually if you keep going. Number 15, successful people take ownership. So I was talking about that in another video, that if you make a mistake, then you own up to it. You say, hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And will you forgive me? Like, I'll make a different change moving forward. And so own up to your mistakes and own up that you don't know everything, and be willing to learn and be willing to take accountability for yourself and for your life. Number 16, successful people create value. They do, they create, they build, they serve. And so if you want to be successful, figure out how you can help other people, how you can serve, potentially how you can monetize that. But they're givers. They give value and then they get value back. And lastly, successful people, they fail until they succeed and they never quit. And so if you keep going, that compounding and that consistency and that persistence, that's honestly a magic formula for success. You do need to iterate and make changes along the way, and not just keep doing it and expect it to happen. But typically, if you're doing the right habits, keep going. And if you do it for long enough, so have that big time horizon. It can be hard. It can be uncomfortable too, because you're like, well, investing all this time into it and assuming it's going to work out. But what if it doesn't? So that's a whole nother story. And I talk about that on my channel. I could talk about that more, but stay committed. Don't quit. It will be worth it. All right, so those are some habits and mindsets of wealthy people and successful people that I've observed. Believe it or not, I have a whole nother list that I can share. So if you want another video, definitely let me know in the comments below. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe for more, share with a friend, and I will see you in the next video. Let's keep learning and working and growing together. You got this.